Hello everyone, welcome to this video on Parivartana Yoga. Parivartana means mutual exchange. Normally, when planets are in their own houses, they are considered stronger. The strongest is obviously the exaltation house. But planets, when they are in their own house, they have certain unique advantages and unique strengths. So, in a Parivartana Yoga, there is a mutual exchange of houses. It is like you and I exchange our places of residence and thereby gain strength. So, let's understand this yoga through examples. Okay, I'm also going to share a horoscope of a famous celebrity. Okay, so you understand the impact Parivartana Yoga has on one's life. Okay, so let's start with a simple scenario. Here, if you see, this is a Mithuna Lagna, that is Gemini Lagna. The fifth lord, Venus, and fourth lord, Mercury, have exchanged their houses. Fourth and fifth lords have exchanged their houses, thereby becoming very strong. So, if this individual gets the dasha of Venus or Mercury in his or her lifetime, we need to treat Venus and Mercury as if they are in their own houses. Here, no doubt, Mercury and Venus are in their friend's house. That is good, right? But something better is being in their own house. So, Venus and Mercury here have mutually exchange their houses and thereby gain the strength of being in their own house. This is a first rate yoga. The additional aspect is whenever a mutual exchange happens between a Kendra house, which is 1, 4, 7, 10, and a angular house, right, that is 1, 5, 9, it invariably results in a very powerful yoga. Okay, so here there is the exchange between quadrants and the angular houses, right? The Kendras and the Trikonas, right? Fourth and fifth lords have exchanged their houses, thereby becoming very powerful, right? So this is a good yoga. Let's see one more scenario. This is a case of Cancer Lagna, Kataka Lagna. If you see here, the 9th and 10th lords have exchanged their houses. Here also, it's an exchange between Kendra and a Trikona, quadrant and an angular house. That is good. Okay, this is always good. An exchange between 9th and 10th lord, okay, 4th and 5th lords. These are all very good yoga, right? So, in the dasha of Mars and Jupiter, the individual can look forward to lot of benefic results, right? And Mars and Jupiter are friendly to the Lagna Lord. So by being in a position of strength, these planets will bestow a lot of good things for this individual. Okay, so basically we want planets that are favorable to the Lagna Lord, right, to become stronger. We don't want the other scenario where the planets which are inimical to Lagna Lord become stronger. We don't want that, right? It is like our enemies become stronger, right? We want house lords of favorable houses to become stronger. That is why I said the exchange between Kendra and Trikona is always good, right? 1, 4, 7, 10 and 1, 5, 9. If there is an exchange, it is always considered good, right? So let's see this example horoscope. This is a famous celebrity about whom I will tell a little later. If you see this horoscope, Leo Lagna, right? And there are multiple parivartanas or exchanges that is happening in this particular chart. Okay. Let us go through one by one. The first house lord and the fourth house lord, there is an exchange. Sun and Mars become very powerful. This definitely helps the individual, right? And as I said, there are multiple exchanges in this particular horoscope. The next one is Venus and Jupiter. This is what? The fifth house and 8, 9, 10. Fifth house and 10th house. That again is good, right? Fifth house and 10th house, there is an exchange, right? What is the next one? The next one is sixth house and the 12th house. This is not so good, right? But the good thing is Saturn is becoming strong in the sixth house. That is good, right? Because Saturn in sixth house is always good, right? Because Saturn in sixth house negatively aspects the sixth house characteristics like enemies, diseases, and deaths, right? So by being strong in sixth house, Saturn helps to minimize the impact of enemies, deaths, and diseases to a great extent. So that's the power of Saturn being in sixth house, right? So Moon being in 12th house alone is not good, but then it's in its own house, right? Comes with its own set of advantages, right? So this individual, as I said, is a celebrity, right? Much more than a celebrity. This horoscope belongs to late Prime Minister of India, Srimati Indira Gandhi ji, right? Very powerful, very successful Prime Minister, right? I'm sure all these mutual exchanges, have played their role in making Mrs. Gandhi who she is, right? So Parivartana Yoga is very powerful. An exchange between 14710, 159 is always beneficial, right? Because we want the lords, of favorable houses to become stronger, right? In this case, even though Saturn is to Leo Lagna, but by being in sixth house, right? Saturn, you know, minimizes the impact of enemies, diseases, to a great extent. That's a big benefit in anyone's life, right? In Indira Gandhi's horoscope, the exchange between 12th and 6th, okay, became beneficial to an extent because of the involvement of Saturn. But otherwise, generally speaking, an exchange involving 6th house lord, 8th house lord, 12th house lord is not good because we don't want those house lords, to become stronger, right? So please keep this in mind. So in this horoscope, if you see, the first house lord and the sixth house lord have exchanged their places, right? In fact, the Lagna lord and the sixth house lord have exchanged their places. So Lagna lord becoming stronger, is always advantageous. In fact, in this position, Lagna lord becomes exalted. But the sixth house lord becoming stronger will give its own set of problems in the dasha of the sixth house lord, which is Jupiter, right? And Jupiter and Venus are not friendly, right? So it's going to give additional problems to the native in the dasha of Jupiter. But Jupiter is the significator of progeny in one's life, right? So those aspects will be beneficial to the individual, but the sixth house characteristics will be amplified, which is deaths, enemies, and diseases, right? So let's look at one more example. Here, the exchange is between second and eighth house. This is Cancer Lagna. Sun being stronger is beneficial because Sun is the lord of the second house. Second house is about wealth, immediate family, right? So those things will be very positive to the individual. Plus, Sun is friendly to the Lagna lord Moon. Whereas Saturn becoming stronger is not very advantageous to this individual. The only big benefit of Saturn being in its own house in the eighth house, right, is about longevity to the individual. That will be assured. But other characteristics of Saturn will also get amplified, like jealousy, a pessimistic attitude to life, being slow in whatever this individual does, right? All those things are negative aspects of Saturn, and they are going to get amplified without any benefic influence. If a benefic were to aspect Saturn, things change, right? Saturn will exhibit the positive characteristics like grit, perseverance, a very dependable personality, a matured outlook to life, an experienced person kind of attitude to anything, right? Those are all positive things of Saturn. Those things will be amplified when Saturn gets the benefic aspect. Plus, Saturn in the eighth house. Eighth house is about what? Occult, things that are hidden from the outside world, sudden ups and downs. All those things could also get amplified. So the benefits or the problem areas that I talked about by Parivartana Yoga, by the mutual exchange of houses, by the respective planets becoming stronger, is primarily during its dasha, right? Please keep that in mind. So that's what I wanted to cover in today's video. To sum up, Parivartana Yoga is about mutual exchange of houses, involving the lords of Kendra and Trikona, that is the quadrants and the trines, right, is always good. An exchange involving 1, 4, 7, 10, 1, 5, 9 is beneficial to the individual. An exchange involving 6, 8, 12 is always problematic. There are exceptions like the one we saw in the case of Mrs. Indira Gandhi's horoscope. Saturn, by being in the 6th house, really helped her in bringing down the adverse impact of enemies, diseases, and deaths, right? So, and last but not the least, the effects of the exchange of houses primarily happen during the dasha periods. In bhukti periods, you can see some impact, but a significant impact is seen only in the dasha, right, of the respective planets. Right, so that's what I wanted to cover. Please do share, like, and subscribe to my channel, and I will see you in another video. Thank you.